So about a year ago I bought this little beauty, the Canon Powershot G10, and I took it to the coast with Mike Brown, and I had one of the best days of photography in a hell of a long time, and a lot of it came down to this camera and what this camera is capable of. Now, to me, there are a few things that make this camera stand out, and one of them is that CCD sensor. 14.7 megapixels, so basically 15 megapixels on a CCD sensor is quite uncommon, and the images just look awesome. Secondly, it's this zoom. Now, the Lumix LX3 is an absolutely amazing camera, but the lens does that 24 to 70 full frame equivalent. This loses a little bit on the wide end, but it's 28 to 140, which covers everything that I like to shoot for street and urban. Your 28mm, your 35mm, 50mm, 85mm, and even up to 135mm. I'm covered with this little thing. So I've recently been inspired by Paul Cook, fellow YouTuber and photographer. He has a second Instagram called Backroads Americana, where he's shooting all of the old historic buildings in the US on his travels, and that's some great stuff. And Hull, where I live, is a really old town and has a lot of industrial stuff, a lot of rundown buildings. So that's what I'm going to be shooting today, and hopefully we'll let the camera and the photographs do the talking. The weather is all over the place today. We've already had rain, we've got now bright sunshine. I've got the umbrella with me and a hoodie, and I am currently regretting both. So yeah, it's already one of those days. Now, you may have noticed, you may have not, I didn't put out a video last week, and the main reason for that was because it's the start of the summer holidays and the kids wanted to play Minecraft. And who am I to deprive the children of Dad's amazing Minecraft building skills? Anyway, this is a photography channel, not a Minecraft channel, so let's get on with some photographs, shall we? One of my first shots is going to be the old extracting building over here. I've shot it before, it was in a night video that I did recently. But it's just such a cool building, and I'm going to shoot it again. Now, one of the main draws of cameras like this is that lens. Now, I prefer to shoot primes. I have pretty much always preferred to shoot primes. They just offer a smaller package, generally faster, generally higher quality. But when you just want a one and done kind of setup, you know, something that you can sling in your pocket quite easily, having a range like that, 28 to 140, is invaluable. Now, another bonus of something like this is that it's not exactly a slow lens. While it's not quite as fast as a Lumix LX3, it's still pretty fast at f2.8 to f4.9. Now, bear in mind, the f number, the aperture on this is all about light, because with the sensor so small, you're not really getting much in the way of background separation anyway. So, you know, in the scenarios where you're going to be using this kind of camera, which is in good light because ISO performance is also pretty crap, you know, that speed lens is just enough to allow you to keep your shutter speeds high enough to freeze motion and get the shot. I love this thing. It is so cool. For anyone who lives in this area, this is obviously a overdone shot, but for people who don't, I think this might be quite interesting. Let's widen that up a little bit. Look at that beauty. Punch it just a little bit. This is probably going to end up a black and white shot, I would guess. Expose for the sky, make sure that we protect those highlights, and boom. Now, in case you're wondering how I've got this camera set up, same as I always use, program mode. ISO 80, let the camera do everything else, set the exposure comp to down 1/3 of a stop, and that pretty much covers you for protecting those highlights. That is so cool. I'm kind of enjoying this. Street photography is cool and all, but sometimes you just got to have a little bit of urban nastiness. Look at that. Look at that shot. Almost looks like it's been buried. I love that. That's cool. I don't know if you're even remotely interested in this kind of stuff, but I have a major appreciation for all things that remind me of the Fallout franchise, so stuff like this is just super cool to me. I really love to see things like this, you know, when nature starts to take things back. Oh, this looks sick, look at this. Talk about Fallout stuff. That's very cool. I do like that post-apocalyptic vibe, and areas like this just ooze it. It's absolutely fantastic. Back in the 90s, I did the whole band thing. I was a guitar keyboard guy, and we had a practice room that we used to use around this area somewhere, and I can't for the life of me remember what building it was, but I remember it was absolutely knackered, like scary to walk up the stairs knackered, you know, and I'd love to find it to get a shot. I get a feeling it's one of the buildings a little bit further along this road here, but yeah, I can't remember. I mean, it's a long time ago. Now the practice place I'm thinking about, I don't know, I get the feeling that this might have been the building. I mean, look at the state of the frigging place. I'm really not sure though. I just want to finish this one by saying, as I've said before, don't fall for the hype. I fell for the hype with Sony, and I've landed on a system which is far more capable and far cheaper. And the same can be said for things like this. Just because it doesn't have a Fujifilm or a Leica badge on it doesn't automatically mean it's not suitable for this type of photography. And these can be had at an absolute fraction of the price, especially when you look at the stupid price of the Fuji X100V right now. 1,500 quid used. I mean, what the hell? It's not. No. Look at stuff like this. Let the photos speak for themselves, and I'll see you in the next one.